Greetings, guys. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette, and this is my channel, Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I am a professional intuitive empath, and we're going to get right into it. We don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. Yeah, we're going to get right into it. This is a reading that I have been guided to. There's two that's been on my heart all day. Tune in for the next one if you'd like to, and maybe we'll just do some freestyle chat for those of you guys that are up, available, and all of that afterwards. But when my angels give me messages, I have to get them to you. And apparently, with the Saturn retrograde doing what it does do, people that have ever decided to funk with you are having their worst nightmares actually come true. I'm hearing they're all gonna laugh at you. Now, all of this light and love stuff is fantastic. But when we have been through the trenches, as we have, by people that were bed wenches, as they are, and other things, then sometimes this is the thing that karma does bring. I'm going to help you elevate. Yes, ma'am. I'm going to help you grow. But if there is trifling energy afoot, I'm also going to let you know, because we are light and dark, we are shadow, and we are soul. So today, let's take a look at the trolls. This has been on my heart, y'all. If you can't tell, I'm in my Drake energy. You can't see the card, but it says on it, Night Owl, do not disturb luxury. Ladies, man, finer things. October's very own, thank me later. Top 5, Poppy, Loverboy, Champagne Poppy. Here's what I want you to understand. Drake is a Scorpio. So when I say I'm in my Drake energy as I channel this message, Drake is a king, a petty king. Drake is also the king of outwitting his opponent. As Lil Wayne says, show me my opponent. So you guys had some opponents apparently, because this message has been all over me. And right now I have no opponents currently. Currently the reigning champ as far as I'm concerned, but that's the same energy I want you to traffic in as well. I'm watching so many of you guys grow and expel past energies out of your esoteric field, like just spitting out things that no longer vibrate with you and that are no longer real. You are choosing to incarnate and live in the surreal. That is scorpionic energy, and it's a big deal. That's elevated scorpionic energy when you transform, when you allow something to be completely taken down to its lowest form and it dies, because that's the energy of Scorpio, and then you bring it back to life because that's the energy of Scorpio. Still waters run deep. And the message tonight is some people should be careful of the company that they keep. We don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. This is from the book of BIA. When I can upload this properly, I will populate the title fully so that you will understand that this is from the book of BIA. BIA is an artist who did a song with Nicki Minaj. Next card that comes out is Kill Bill. Let's talk about it. Revenge is sweet, victorious, two-faced lovers, two-faced friends, assassin, pussy wagon. It's going to be PG, not 13. This is rated R. Kiddos, Crazy 88, Martial Arts, Black Mamba, For My Daughter the Bride. These are some of the keywords that come up on the yellow side. This card is yellow. You can't see it, but it is. And it is of dealing with our solar chakra. It's interesting that they say kids, because I don't think this is about children. I think this is about people that were acting and behaving like kids, like children, immaturely, high schoolers stuck in 40 something, 50 something year old bodies. Y'all know the vibration. Y'all know the situation. 30-year-old bodies, 20-year-old bodies, you name it. But the point is, if you're watching, none of us are in high school anymore. Amen? Let's just say it. This yellow is about you getting your self-esteem back because you were dealing with bitches that were whack. We're going to use that word a lot tonight because it's appropriate. So don't give me any flack. We don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. When I see this Kill Bill energy, think of Uma Thurman in the movie. Think of how she came back to completely and utterly decimate everybody. If you're not a Tarantino fan, you don't have to be. The movie, the character, it's iconic. She did what she had to do, and so did Samuel L. Jackson too. So there's a whole lot of cursing too as well in your energy. Next card here: American history, X, game over, civil rights, weapons, racist, siblings, broken home, anger, prison, rehabilitated, violated, knowledge. This is another movie, and if you've seen it, then you know what it's about. But it is not about bringing the happy bows and rainbows out? Who brought the dogs out? This is the energy. Who are the dogs to you, divine feminine? Who are the people that are snarling in the background protecting you unbeknownst to people that tried you? Well, that's your angels and your ancestors, and they do abide you. Next card, Boys in the Hood. Let's talk about what was and wasn't good. Life lessons, lack. So that would be the Five of Pentacles, lack and poverty consciousness, death, scorpionic energy, transitions, poverty, vengeance, childhood friends, tempers flare, uncertainty. We're also talking about some of y'all's ex-besties, ex-frenemies, ex-haters, people that are not celebrators of your wins and your ascension. Next card, Gone with the Wind. A tragedy, isn't it? Back off, property, civil war, affairs, rivals, desire, jealousy, torn between two, drama. It was all around you, and somehow you decided to get out of it because it was for the birds. That's the next movie. This is an older one. If you guys have not heard, this is about karmic behavior. This is about seeds. This is about cheapness. This is about messages, vibrations, lovebirds, soulmates, all for love, migrates, travel, flock together, gossip. This is the bitches that hate. We don't mess with these bitches. That's a weak disease. That, again, is what you need to know. And while it's not Nikki's verse, then let's bring in some of that Sagittarius energy that tells the people how it is, because that's how you got through whatever you did, and that's what they want you to know. Let's take a look and clarify some of these, because we don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. As I explain this to you, please understand what you got through and what is coming in for you. Also, we'll take a look at some of the karma of the jealous bitches that tried you, because sometimes to put our mind at peace, it's important that we know. And I only will tell you something that I did in order for me to grow. Yes, grow. Yes, grow. Mm. We don't send anything anybody's way, but if we're earth angels and empaths, you know, in the light and harmony is where we like to stay. The best way that you can avoid these jealous bitches is to walk away. And I know that seems like really pansy on the front end, right? Like, no, I want to get into it. I want to mix it up. I want to stick up for myself. You can, but you do it right. Distance yourself, because people that have nothing to lose will lose everything. And that will be whether you're there or not. And so this is something, and it's a message they said they do not want it to be forgot. Please understand that you have something to lose. These people are players in the game. They are agents in the matrix. They have nothing to gain in their life. They are always going to be filled with gossip, drama, and strife. And so when they see you ascending, they see you different, they see you thoughtful and intelligent, they're curious as to who do you think you are, because in their life they know they will never go far. They are dead weights. And we don't mess with that, because it will drag us down. So let's clarify what it is that your angels want you to know this round. Clarify, Drake. The King of Cups. So let's take a look at this. This is beautiful. This is energy regarding the King of Cups and the Knight of Swords inverted. No longer chasing, loving you, and balancing some of your divine masculine and feminine energy. The Knight of Swords would be the runner-chaser dynamic that a lot of us got into in any friendship or romantic connection, where we were afraid to set ourselves free and we were chasing after love from a nobody. And that's really important, because with the King of Cups here and the color red that you can't see, we're dealing with the root chakra and our humanity, but also about our family and our finances. So your self-love increases your finances. And when you started to heal yourself, probably in the midst of these jealous bitches, what happened was their jealousy was immediately activated, because you were no longer running after them, taking care of them. You were no longer interested. And it didn't mean that you had anything against them per se. It did mean that you just wanted to treat yourself in a better way. And they're wild and insane. And what did they think? That warranted punishment. Clarify their actions back. So they set out to destroy things that you valued. They wanted you to be cast out. So they're showing you the Ten of Pentacles here, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Chariot. Now this is a double-edged sword, because casting you out may be what they had intended and what they were going for. But how it benefited you, whether you're a divine masculine or feminine here too, how it benefited you is that it put you on the path and the journey to your actual home, to your actual wealth, to your actual family, a real soul tribe. You gravitated to a real soul tribe who actually matched your vibe. And that's what happens when you encounter jealous bitches and you walk away. instead of messing with them and playing the games they like to play, understand that they are diseased, probably really, actually, and spiritually, and they want to take away your freedom, your ability to roam, to travel, to create. They will never be great. And that's sad for them, but that doesn't mean that they deserve to punish you when maybe you were just really trying to be their friend. A lot of us here listening literally project our morality because we're good humans, right? And it doesn't mean we always get it right. It doesn't mean we don't have a petty side, exhibit A, but it does mean that we usually don't have games to play. If we love someone, we say it. If we're your friend, we mean it. We're not two-facing, two-timing, or whatever. So whether this is in a relationship that you experience this, or it was in a situationship that you experienced this, or it was in a bestieship that you experienced this, these people that you decided to divest from literally set you on track to live your best life and journey. When I'm taking a look at Kill Bill, what comes out here is a Knight of Swords, quite literally, which is about fighting. And this is about, and it's twice we got the Knight of Swords, so right side up and upside down. So now we're talking about the fact that you fought for your sanity and also for your stability. Also, this means that when you divested from the jealous bitches who were filled with the weak disease, that you got offers and they were now subjugated and brought to their knees. A lot of you guys didn't realize that people were feeding off of your energy. A lot of you guys don't realize how valuable your energy is. And so you were giving it away, not realizing you are the gift. So without you, now they are subjugated. Every knee will bow and every tongue will confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. This is what it is said in the word. And let me help you understand that if they don't confess and genuflect to the man, to the greatness, to the universe, to the source, then the devil is who they will bow for. And so jealous bitches usually are on their knees in some fashion or to some degree. Clarifying American X. Let's take a look here. We have the this is definitely for my romantic partnerships, the Four of Wands and the Ace of Wands adding up together to be the Five of Wands. But let's talk about your relationship abilities and the fact that you make friends with ease. This was something that they were jealous of. They did not want anybody to show you love. They did not like that people showed you love. They did not like that people shared energy with you clearly, concisely. They did not like that people took an interest in you or like the things you do. So when we add that up in the tarot, let's do some tarot math. The Five of Wands is actually about competition and strife. Even though these two cards separately are brilliant and about a better life, that is what you went to after deciding and waking up and realizing that jealousy was not your portion. It was not your cup. They wanted you to give up. They thrive on competition. Lower vibration usually does. Now listen, we can all be competitive to a degree, but usually the best competition is with yourself. I compete with me. What does Cardi B say? I'm my own competition. I'm competing with myself. Because when you start to look at all the rest of the jealous bitches on the shelf, then you will start to wonder about your own wealth and start to take your eye off of your own prize. As it stood, they were focused on your wealth, they were focused on your abundance, and you probably maybe just wanted to treat them right. Even if this is a person that was interested in your partner, your baby father, your husband, your boyfriend, if that was your situation, they wanted what you had. So the only way that they could upset the apple cart was to try to come in and play a different part in the connection. And here's the thing about a connection that can be torn asunder by someone else's projection. It was not your connection to have. Clarifying that as the Ten of Swords and the King of Pentacles. If someone loves you, they will withstand that. King of Pentacles would be a stoic earth sign energy associated with Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. And so what I want you to know here is that someone betrayed you for money. It's interesting because a song from the book of BIA that we're studying tonight is actually called Whole Lot of Money. Someone betrayed you for money or resources. So a person can be considered a resource as well as finances can be considered a resource. This with the Ace of Wands here indicates to me phallic energy. So that's sexual energy, right? So someone considered maybe a person you were sleeping with, person you had a sexual connection with as a resource, or they considered the person's emotional capacity as a resource and they wanted to inflict competition and jealousy, which would be the addition of the Five of Wands. So they interjected that into your life. This is what jealous bitches do. They love to cause strife because they live in a lack and poverty consciousness. And I do believe that is on one of the cards. And Also, this card specifically dealing with civil rights and game over and broken home has to do with a relationship, okay? Also, sibling rivalry. So, this is when Cain slew Abel as well. Also, seething anger, and the word here is racist. So, some of you guys were dealing with people that actually didn't like you because of the color of your skin, or they had their own prejudices about you and they thought you did not deserve to be in the position that you were in. But man, aren't they going to hate it as they watch you ascend? They're going to be sick. But let me tell you, if you walked away from this, let's say you said, you can have this person, whomever they may be, I will go on and create my own new destiny. They still are sick because betrayal is what they wanted to bring you, and it was repeated. What I want you to do is hold a person accountable who allowed your relationship to become depleted. Because again, a relationship that is solid cannot be tested when temptation comes in, and it will, because that is life. We all get distracted, whether it's a bestie ship or a bro ship or a broski ship or a husband or a wife ship. We all have other people that we might be interested in. Flirtations and dalliances happen, my friend. I counsel people every day. This is our normal human way. But to destroy something that is solid and that holds water is not our normal human way. That is something that someone does when they don't care about their sons and daughters. And the reason I say that is it's someone who is not paying attention to their kids. It's someone who has time to play mind games and to play. It's someone who doesn't value their life, so they fritter it away. Okay? These are people that talk often about leaving this world, but would never do it because they're just a squirrel and they're trying to get a nut. Somebody was trying to get a nut, maybe with somebody that was your person, quote unquote. But the thing is, we have to voice the responsibility back into the lap of that person because they fed off of the energy and they were smug. And so you divested and you move on to an emperor and you pulled the rug from underneath them. So jealous bitches are not having fun if you won't compete with them. And that's maybe the biggest takeaway from this reading. Let's carry on. Boys in the hood. Lack and poverty consciousness, death and lessons. This is for my people that were dealing with childhood friends, with vengeances. Hey, Belinda, dealing with tempers flaring, uncertainty. Clarify the energy. Seven of Cups. Someone wanted you to be the only choice. And someone wanted to be chosen. Clarify that. It came out inverted. Knight of Wands as well, inverted. Someone gave up all of their energy. They created such an injustice when they played with you. This is definitely over. This was about being an ego. With the King of Wands coming out here, with the King of Wands coming up here, this is about being an ego, okay? Scorpionic energy presents itself to put an ending to a connection, and that is what your angels want you to understand, and that's what jealous bitches will do. Now, can you stand there and stay there and just like wring your hands and like be weeping and gnashing your teeth? No. This has happened to propel you and to catapult you and propel you, excuse me, into the greater part of your destiny. The death card that I have here is actually gorgeous because it's a face that's empty, but it's a portal to see through another world and another galaxy. This was destined to happen. So as much as you may have mourned it and been sad about it, this was actually for your greatest benefit because there was no more love in the situation. Ace of Cups. Let's go back to what I was just saying. Someone cannot test your relationship with games that they're playing unless your relationship is supposed to be tested or the person that you think might be loyal to you is supposed to be tested too. Everybody gets tests. Sometimes they're supposed to pass, sometimes they fail. But if there was no more love here, then it was supposed to fail. And that's the message that I need you to hear, and your angels want you to know too. Sometimes people will divest from you, and it will happen, and you'll think, how did this happen? How did we get into this whirlwind? And it's because you wouldn't have moved on. Sweet empaths, we are loyal to a fault, are we not? And so they said you would have hung on until you saw how easily they forfeited you for whatever they got. Next card, Con with the Wind. Tragedy, back off, civil war, rivals, affair, property, desire, jealousy, drama, and torn between. The Empress upside down. We were dealing with a distorted feminine energy. Usually that's what it happens. So this is someone who is, because the Empress usually would be considered mothering and nurturing. So maybe someone presented that way, depending on whatever your thing is. So this could be, if you're dealing with a bestieship situation, I'm thinking of someone that may have come in and offered advice, but it was really terrible advice. They had no leg to stand on. They had no real world application. They only had their prejudices that they were going off of. Also, they wanted someone to be stuck with the hangman here. So sometimes people will purposely dissuade you from whatever the next level is when you're seeking information from them if they want you to be stuck with them. So some people that are codependent, yeah, and we all have been if we're here, want people to be stuck with them. And so they will purposely put the wrong thing in their ear. Again, the onus has to be back on whomever was triangulating or triangulated in that situation, okay? I'm getting a tingling in the left side of my head, goosebumps on the back side of my head, on the left side specifically. This has to do with feminine energy and nurturing. So this is about corrupted feminine societies. They're showing me a picture of a wasp right now. So wasps specifically destroy things just for fun, just for chaos. They also have a stinger that can repeatedly sting, so you can be repeatedly stung. So this is also about communication because wasps are insects of the air, and air is associated with mercurial energy, which is communication. That's our Geminis, Libras, and Aquarius. But if we deal with a Gemini, which really rules communication, what we're dealing with is corrupted communication, and that is gossip. Moving into the birds next. So someone used their words and they were malefic and they were corrosive in order to keep someone stuck. Maybe they spoke ill about you, but again, we're going to put the onus back on the person that you knew. So whether it was your partner, whether it was your bestie, whether it's your husband, your wife, your whatever, this person knew you better. So if they leaned into, caved, and listened to that energy, then what does that say about your actual relationship and the lack of future destiny? It was always meant to crumble. Tonight I come here to submit to you that exactly what happened because of these jealous bitches was destined to happen for you, not to you. It happened for you, okay? But what I will tell you as we wrap it up is we don't mess with them for a reason, because there is no truth in their tongue, with the Ace of Swords coming up here backwards. The Ace of Swords is always about truth, also associated with those air signs. Clarifying the birds, we have the Eight of Wands, corrupted communication, upside down as well. Clarifying that, and the birds have to do with this. Karmic behavior, seeds, cheap, lovebirds, messages, soulmate, migrate, travel, flock together, all for love, gossip. So quite literally, the Eight of Wands upside down is the ideal representation of gossip and shenanigans that go along with this, which will corrupt things. And jealous bitches traffic in this. They love it. It is their lifeblood to be spreading rumors. And I know this because the next card is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is the card of my stalker, right? So this is cyber stalking, internet stalking, researching. That's a person that will waste a lot of time paying attention. Now, we all have a little bit of a cyber stalker in us, yes? But in order to implode your relationship with such aplomb and such what seemed like maybe perhaps ease, this was someone who was paying a lot of attention to what you do. They were studying you. Jealous bitches don't have a job to do. They don't have an occupation. Even if they do, they don't take care of their children. They don't really wash behind their ears. And so they're all ears to try to pick out what your greatest fears, what causes you tears. They're all ears. Now, the issue here is that what you need to know is that whoever was your person may have been talking about you too and sharing as well. That is so. So this was mutual gossip. This was mutual exchange of energy. This was mutual exchange of privacy and your secrecy. My divine feminines, we don't mess with too many people. We don't mind having a few friends, but we don't like a whole group of people. That's where the sidewalk ends for us, because we're private, and that's just the way it is. That's the way we like it. We have learned through the trials and errors of life, through corrupted family members, through unnecessary strife, that it's best to move quietly. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. So it's best to move sucker free. And when you have a bunch of jealous bitches around, you have a cacophony of hatred and a cacophony of corruption. Your intuition told you so. The high priestess shows up, so you always knew and you will always know. These people think they have intuition. They show up as the upside down Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is representative of a teenage energy. Upside down, we have someone who was like remedial, actually, okay? So a remedial teenage energy. This is the brain capacity of whatever the jealous bitches are. I don't care what age they are. Some jealous bitches are our family. Some of them are our friends. Some of our mans. Some of our people that are around them. But they had a group of people around them advising them badly and advising them not to choose the stability and the sanity of the relationship with the Two of Pentacles. And so you released with judgment. Because why? We don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. Let's talk about the weakness of the disease, if you please. Thanks, Belinda. Like a phoenix rising from the ashes, unity, goals, excellent, and a lion. I love to see it, and wishes coming true, and the devil and the fool. We're going to talk about each one of these. One more on the jealous bitches and the key. So here's what happens when we don't indulge in the nonsense and the jealousy. Goals, progress is positive, and personal goals will be achieved. So when you walk away from jealous bitches that need professional assistance, that card came out. It's not even in this deck. They actually need professional assistance. A lot of them were dealing with mental illness. Some of your masculine, some of your people that you were so invested in were actually mentally ill, schizophrenic, histrionic disorder, bipolar disorder. I'm not a doctor, but we just watched one who was on TV that wasn't playing when she was one actually, and she diagnosed Amber Heard. A lot of the jealous bitches that you deal with are Amber Heard, specifically, actually, intentionally. Okay. The next thing that comes up for you that you get is unity, a time of divine understanding, renewal, peace, and hope. You radiate and attract great love. Jealous bitches are jealous of you because of this. One, you meet your goals. The money comes in, a whole lot of money, and it's da 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 da. Yeah, the money is coming in. The pentacles are here. Everything you touch, it's Midas. Your magic for manifestation is in the air. The next thing is unity. It's literally a heart here with two people holding hands. So even if it was your quote unquote man or woman they were after, it's because maybe there was a real connection, even if the person you were with forfeited it for jealous bitches. That's okay. That energy went away, but what comes in for you? Because we radiate highly, another connection, probably and not probably, actually, that's far superior, and that takes you into the stratosphere. The chickens, when I think of the birds, I think of chickens pecking. Chickens don't fly. They can provide subsistence, but they eat seeds. They're birds, and they're cheap. And they also say that kind of cheap sounds when they're little. Isn't it interesting? So that is what jealous bitches are. You soar. That's what comes next. The phoenix. Oh, there's so much more. Be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. When you are intercepted with a gaggle of jealous bitches, you will in fact feel as though you have been attacked. You will think, how did these monkeys get on my back? What did I do to deserve that? Hey, universe. Hey, God. Hey, angels and ancestors. Aren't I a good entity? Aren't I a good earth angel energy? Haven't I been honest? Haven't I been kind? How on earth did these jealous bitches find me? Yes, these are questions we will ask. Well, they said you were meant to have a crisis. That crisis puts you through the fire, through the ribbon, to the wall. All the things Kanye said. You're supposed to ascend through this. Now, how do we ascend if we're not challenged? And a lot of us hermit, right? Because the world's energy can be tough for us, we empaths. And so they will bring jealous bitches on your path. It is inevitable. Now, here's the thing. You do not have to have this again and again and again. You'll get a few before you really get the lesson. And the lesson is to divest immediately and quickly. And they will see it as cowardice because they thrive off of chaos energy, right? Devil energy, low vibration energy. So they're going to be like, oh my gosh, she won't even fight with us. Yes, exactly. Why would you? If any of you guys need directions as to why you wouldn't and to what your ancestors and your angels think about it, please refer to my community page where I've put up a video from Joanne the Scammer, who is looking down on them, speaking in third person from your ancestors and angels. It's hilarious. And she starts off the video, and I quote, I have my camera pointing down at you because that's how I'm looking at you, like peasants. We don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a peasant's disease because peasants are living in lack consciousness and poverty. They are happy for crumbs, breadcrumbing. So if you are dealing with someone who is dumb and who is breadcrumbing you, they are operating out of a poverty consciousness. I don't care if it's your best boo. If you love the D, I don't care if you love the poom poom. I don't care if you love the boobies. I don't care if you love his swag. I don't care if you love his back. I don't care if you love his arms. I don't care if he had a farm. I don't care if his tractor was sexy. I don't care if his bestie's name was Lexi. He was weak. And he was breadcrumbing you, and he was living out of lack and poverty consciousness too. Or she was weak and insecure and probably crazy. All of these things are cross-sectionality of insanity that you do not want. And that's why, my loves, we do not allow ourselves to become the haunted we haunt, because we distance ourselves. And they think about you for the rest of your life because they think, why? Oh, why wouldn't that divine feminine fight? And the answer we echo quietly in their deepest nightmares at night is we don't mess with jealous bitches because they give us a fright. Carry on. So, like a phoenix rising from the ashes, what we do is we get prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. So, your angels and ancestors allowed you to have the crisis. They said, these peasants think so. Do not get down from your chariot, sweet queen, to throw tomatoes with the beneath yous. People get offended by that. But do we not have caste systems in this world? If you are keeping your energy clean, if you're being a good girl, whatever that may be, if you're being a good guy and you are performing divine masculinity, then why do you think that you are an equal with the chickens that peck the seeds? The chickens that carry the gossip, the chickens that carry disease. We don't mess with jealous bitches. That's a weak disease. We are phoenixes from the ashes. We rise and then do as we please, carried on cosmic, galactic breezes, with angels and ancestors who are delighted and pleased with us. And so it is. The next thing that happens when you refuse to jealous bitches is this: the devil. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. The Bible says to flee the appearance of evil. When you can tell that someone is crazy, you know. We all have immediate animal instincts to let us know that something is not going to grow. Some of you guys had partners, besties, cousins, sisters, mamas, daddies, whoever, that love to build their life with cockroaches. Yes, I said it. And cockroaches, at first, I imagine, might be tempting. Think of Joe's apartment. None of us would want to be in there. But that's how we see jealous bitches, as a room full of despair. If you guys ever saw Joe's apartment, I'm sure you were triggered. It was a show about a guy who just had rampant roaches. And so when I looked upon a set of people that were presented to me, all I saw was infestation and roach shenanigans. And that's it. I can see spiritually a jealous bitch. And they identify with the low vibration of roaches and insects and rodents, rats too. So then your person, your whoever is challenging you, because if they have not ascended to have sight like you, they're like, why don't you want to come play with my friends? You look over and you're horrified because you want to bring everything in that room's life to an end. And what I mean by that figuratively is you're seeing the roaches and the latent disease. You're seeing the rats and the rabies. You're seeing the fact that they will cut each other, bite each other's neck off, kill each other, and climb over each other just so that they can be free. And free for them is climbing into the toilet where there's fecal matter for free. That's free for them. That's their ascension. So let's talk about it. Take care immediately to avoid temptation and deceit. For them, temptation is getting off of the floor, in and over the toilet seat, into the mess. They quite literally revel in it. They think this is the best. So if someone is insane and they've lost their brain and they're coming to you and they are temporary insane and they're saying, you know what, these people are the best, then my divine feminine, you know what I'm going to say, divest. Why? Because that temptation is shortly lived. It is a fleeting thing. It does not last, and it does not bring anything but the subjugation, because the devil always collects. If the devil went down to Georgia and he was looking for a fight, and he played the fiddle and he played it all night, and you danced and danced and jigged till the morning was bright, at the end of that morning dance, there is no more light, because the signed contract now is in his hands, and he will never treat you right. The devil always collects. So these people that divested in healthy friendships, healthy marriages, healthy relationships, healthy partnerships, healthy whatever your dynamic was, from sister to brother to friend to foe to bestie to XD to lover to husband to wife, these people are promised a lifetime of strife. A lifetime, you say? Oh, yes, my friends, because Saturn is in retrograde. Now it's a lifetime. Let's talk about a lifetime. Let's talk about a Saturn cycle. It's 28 and a half years. So you have 7-year Saturn cycles. You have 10-year cycles. Saturn doesn't come to play. Saturn's bringing devil energy for anybody that was in your way, that thought it was funny, that thought they were going to take from you, that couldn't stand to see you win when you're doing it authentically and organically, and maybe you're trying to actually be their friend, their lover, their pal, whatever. The devil and Saturn say, oh, that was an unwise endeavor. Now, jealous bitches are not really smart. They are not really thinking from their heart. They're thinking from their nether regions, their body parts. That's usually what happens. And let me tell you why. Whether it's sexual energy, whether it's family or friend, or a man that did lie, our nether regions specifically have to do with the root chakra. Let's educate ourselves, Divine Feminine. That is associated with the color red. It's associated, yes, with passion, but also finances, resources, as well as part to do with our sexuality. That's sacral chakra as well. So the last three chakras, solar, sacral, and root, all have to do with how we love and also how we see ourselves, our self-esteem, and how we derive pleasure in various ways, in various degrees, but also about our finances and how we set ourselves free. Also, the root chakra has to do with our generational curses and if we will subjugate ourselves to devil energy. You get it? What do we see the devil depicted as? Often as red, because it's about our temptation and our lust instead. Yes? And so we all will be tempted. Each one of us will have an opportunity to have something that's delicious put in front of us and we can choose to consume it. But do roaches say no to a meal? Do roaches have any compunction about what they steal? Have you not seen the rats steal the pizza walking through the subway? Rats will take anything that's in their way because as far as they're concerned, it belongs to them. Why? Because they're living from a poverty consciousness, my friends. Rats are impoverished, but to them they're rich because they will cut a bitch in order to have whatever they want and they don't care. So when you are around somebody who has no spiritual discernment and they don't care about their life and they say, hey, I would like you to meet my lover that I'm trying to disguise. I would like you to meet this new friend that I'm trying to disguise. I would like you to meet this person that I'm saying I'm not having an affair with, or I'd like you to meet this family member who I think is so great and she gets to weigh in. And you say, but they're roaches and rats, my friend. And they say, I don't understand. Then let them go to what they wanted to go to, because the devil energy will consume them and it won't consume you. You don't mess with jealous bitches. It's a weak disease and it's one that will get you subjugated and absolutely brought to your knees. I guarantee you. And now that we're in a Saturn cycle, pardon me, it's coming home to roost. The reason that the next message I have is also hilarious. My angels are so funny. I'm not funny. They gave it to me. And it's talking about baby sharks and great whites. We'll get to it next. But here's the thing. The reason this is happening is because the karma is coming home to roost. The contracts from the devil are coming home to roost. And guess what that has to do with Divine Feminine? How does it have to pertain to you? It doesn't, my loves. It doesn't, sweet boos, because you didn't mess with these crazy people. You understood that they were actually weak. And when I say it's a weak disease, it's a clever line from BIA, but let's break it down. It means that people that do not have a backbone, that do not have self-esteem, it means that people that are not go-getters and that cannot create and live and make their own dreams, they will want to covet and take what you have. People always, even if they have everything, will in some part of their life look at you and think, I'm down bad here, she seems up there, or he seems up there, and without a care, they will seek to destroy you or destroy it or to take it from you. Now, here's the spoiler alert for anybody that's ever had this happen to them in any degree. Whatever they take from you never stays, because people don't stay when they're not free. Usually there is spell work involved in that kind of energy, and what I mean by that is ill-wishing, ill-speaking, repetitive obsessive thoughts. I don't mean necessarily going to the store for the candle you bought, though some of them like to add that too. Some of them like to sacrifice animals. There are a lot of things that people do in order to attain what they think belongs to you. But here's what my mama said, and this much is true. What is for you will always be for you. And so if somebody dissented and went a different way, then please understand, Divine Feminine, they were not meant to stay. If a jealous bitch could knock them off their square, then you need to shrug your shoulders and not give a care, because they were never supposed to be in your life and now they're no longer there. Carrying on, wishes. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. The reason you get your wish, and there's a wishbone here too, is because, and I think it's very symbolic, a wishbone is about being torn apart, right? That's a part of the turkey that we put aside and we take up and we make a wish after Thanksgiving. So this is a symbolic time too. So November, October is symbolic here for some of you as well. So what they're showing me is that someone felt torn in two different directions and someone else felt like they got their wish. wish, meaning the person that gets the bigger part of the bone gets their wish granted. That's the lore, that's the folklore. Well, let's say here that you and the universe are fighting over you getting more or more now. Do you understand? When you divest from crazy bitches, you no longer are in a battle for scraps like rats and roaches. You get it? You are no longer like fighting over what isn't there and what is so meager. And so I want you to understand that anything you want, you can create. We are still under the auspicious light of the strawberry moon that started in June and will end in December. I suggest, my loves, that you start writing down a life that you can always remember that you want to create. Because when you walked away from whatever situations or triangle ships that were going on, then you ended up being great. And the irony here is that the wishbone looks like a triangle too, but you are at the pinnacle of the bone. And now the battle is between the universe, your ancestors, and you. And it's not a battle. Everyone is coalescing on your behalf to give you everything you've wanted and that you've ever wanted to have. Your teenage dreams coming true, your childhood dreams coming true, your 20-year-old dreams coming true, your 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80-year-old dreams come true. The sky is the limit before you. The cosmos is behind us as well. Wishing on a star is something that we do. If we're talking about the card of Aquarius, then dreams come true too. The card of Aquarius is also about healing. After a battle with a jealous bitch or two, you will need to retreat and recuperate and heal. You will need to get off your feet and lay and chill for a while. But then you don't just get ready to have the biggest deal. You are back in an empathic bag because the star is representative of Aquarius energy, which is thinking ahead, bigger than what you've ever had, and also healing yourself and also connecting with like minds. Aquarius rules humanitarianism. So famous Aquariuses that you know right off the bat that are interesting but also love the world to some degree, Jim Carrey and Oprah. These are the two that stand before me. So I think it's interesting because I think what you get to have is everything you ever wanted. These are two people that have not been limited in their career choices, right? We like think of Jim Carrey and his incredible scope of acting and his incredible life and where he started from. And think of Oprah, same too, her incredible life, and she started from nothing. Also, let's go back to the roaches and the rat. A lot of these roaches and rats didn't know that they saw that greatness in you. And that's one of the beautiful things I want you to understand about dealing with any kind of narcissist or toxic person or person that devalued you is they saw exactly who you were going to be. They saw the full of your potentiality and they wanted to rob you of that too. They wanted your persona, they wanted your energy, they wanted your clothes, they want to know what kind of soap you use, what kind of perfume you use. These hoes are crazy, actually. And it's sad because they have no self-identity. When I think of Jim Carrey and I think of Oprah, I cannot think of two more individualistic people. And what your angels want you to know is this is incredibly representative of you. Both Aquarian energies thinking outside of the box, created lives for themselves where you cannot lock them in. And they have endless wells of creativity and new chapters to begin. So just when you think you have them pegged, they go and do something different. So we went from In Living Color to Liar Liar to The Mask to The Truman Show to Andy Kaufman. A tour de force of acting from someone who began as a bit and physical comedic actor. Then we go from Oprah winning a couple of awards, speaking a little bit in her grandma's church, to being at a news station where they said, "We don't care about you knowing your worth. We're going to pay you 20 to 30,000, and you shouldn't get more than a man that is lighter and brighter than you because that's just not the world and it's not what we do." To her ascending to her show where she crushed other titans, Donahue, Sally Jesse Raphael, Ricky Lake. Each one of their titles she did take until one day they all sat on her show talking about how their shows closed because she couldn't stop to grow. She continued. She says it like Cardi B. "I stayed in my lane. I decided I wouldn't be the same. I wasn't Jerry Springer. I wasn't Donahue. I wasn't Maury Povich. I was me. I do what I do." That's Aquarian energy. And when that was done, and we thought it couldn't get better, from favorite things to her favorite sweaters, she went on and said, "Now I own me." And she created other networks and new energies and synergies. And we don't always agree because we are controversial, divine feminines and masculine energies. We are not everybody's cup of tea. Neither was Jim Carrey. But what we are is authentically we. We are individuals like the jealous bitches wish they could be. They have no ounces of creativity. They have no endless well. They have no incredible origin stories. They have no powerful connections to tell. They only have their limited vocabularies, their small energies, their corroded thoughts. They only have their bodies to sell. They only have to steal from you because they could never imagine organically the things you do. Do not limit yourself. And that's why the jealous bitches did not wish you well. That's why they actually prayed for you to go to hell. That's why they actually prayed for you to die. Because just seeing you brought a tear to their eye, but not of inspiration and not of ascension, not of growth and not of connection, but jealousy. Because roaches and rats know no other way to be. Let's finish up. The keys, new beginnings, new directions, and adventures await those ready to let go of the past. Messing with those jealous bitches was not exactly a blast. And so I can imagine that it would be hard to let go of the past, but with trauma bonding and codependency, which we are definitely guilty of, sweet empaths and divine feminine energies, sometimes it is hard, but you have the keys, the keys, the keys. Another one. Sometimes those jealous bitches didn't wish you well, and actually all of the times. But here's the thing that sends them straight to hell. You love you. And so does God too. It makes me think of DJ Khaled when he says that no one thought that he could do the next thing, and then he said, "But God did." DJ Khaled's hilarious. DJ Khaled's hilarious. He said, "But God did." Another one. We got the keys, the keys, the keys. We have the keys to creativity. We have the keys to endless possibility, and they don't. Period. They are living with the ratchets and the roaches. They're living with their addictions. They're living with their competitions. They're living with their third parties. They're living with their terrible polyamory. And what I mean by that, it's not done well. They're living with their terrible show and tell. They turn on each other. They're backbiting. They're gossiping. They're secretly recording. They're putting stuff out. They're slashing tires. They're burning down houses. This is low vibrational karmic behavior. This is not why we exist. And so it's why we escaped. This is not who we are. We have the keys to new beginnings, directions, and adventures. And they await those who are ready to let go of the past. So yes, the jealous bitches kicked your ass to some degree, didn't they? Didn't they cause you to look at yourself and think, who am I? And then you realize, wait, who am I? Why am I standing by for this energy? They have us win anytime you stay with them low to the ground, hanging around in their depression and their mental insanity. Do not stay there, because that weak disease will cause them to turn on each other. And for a minute, when I say, did it kick your ass? It caused you to turn on yourself. For 24 hours, I remember putting myself down on their low vibrational, filthy shelves and thinking like them. And my angel said, "Ascend. This is not for you." So it's interesting. I think we're allowed to have experiences with people like that because it's not something we would ever do. It was like the worst vacation ever. It's like, I can't wait to get out of here. And so that is the energy that you need to understand. They are trafficking in despair. And if you spend time around a jealous bitch, you might not understand that they're coveting everything from your shoes to your hair. They don't understand it. They couldn't do it. They couldn't be it. They wish they could, and they hate you because of it. And they wish you no good. And it's very careful because energy transference is real. So if you are around someone, you will become like them. And that's why we don't hang with jealous bitches. It's a weak disease. Divine Feminine, we are anything but weak. And I know that because the lion is next. Harness the loyal and protective aura of the lion and charge ahead magnificently. Listen, jealous bitches are anything but loyal. They're anything but protective. And they are anything but magnificent. But you are, and that's why they were jealous. Simple. That's it. You now get into your Leo energy, whether you are or not. Harness the thing about being empowered. The mantra for Leo, every sign has a mantra. So for Taurus, it would be I have. For Leo, it is I am. I want you to actualize and self actualize yourself if you've dealt with anybody. I don't care if they stole your man, your baby daddy, your baby mama, they stole your actual mama, they stole your cousin, they stole your bestie. I am. They wanted what you are. They could never be who you are, and they will never go far. So they try to take something because the closest they could get to your essence, think about how sick this is to take the thing that was closest to you, and that was it. So if they were successful in that, and there are women who literally get off on competition, this is low vibrational women that are operating out of distorted masculine energy, okay? Because masculine energy acquires and is bossy, rude, aggressive to some degree, especially distorted. Not all masculine energy is like that, but the distorted masculine energy does. So anybody that's ever been a quote unquote homewrecker is operating out of masculine energy, whether they realize it or not. They may have breasts, but they are really operating out of a very phallic sense of territorialism and property and entitlement, which is very low vibration masculine energy. So, excuse me, the thing to know here is this: they wanted what you had, sis, because that's the only way that they could validate themselves. Also, if we're going to go higher as a divine feminine, you literally vibrate and radiate a certain energy. So if they could take something from what they think is a divine feminine and what you are as a divine feminine, then they think, I am it. I am the bee's knees. When really, they are really, and they're not even just worker bees. They would be the bees that are turned out. Sometimes they'll take bees out of the community because they were coming for a queen bee. Anybody listening here is that. Period, sis. Period, queen. Period, daughter. Anybody listening here is not just working harder like those people are destined to, because they are impoverished. So they will work these kind of jobs where they're just exhausted, or they will always be working in these situations where they just are never lauded, and it's always a rat race, literally, and they're trying to take things and fight people, and it's never ending. But that's not what queen bees do. They are ever ascending. They populate, they create, they disperse, and they disseminate, but they do not do anything to that degree. We work smarter. That's the plight or the fortune of a queen bee. And they wanted to traffic in that energy. Oh, just for a second, if I can steal this thing from you, if I can wear the thing like you, if I can become a total creep, single white female, if you're a man, I can keep your woman, I can keep your bestie, I can take your cousin, I can make turn against you, your mama, I can make hate you. Then just for a few moments, I could be like you. It's sad, the things that jealous bitches do. You are Leo energy, whether you are that or not. It is shining through. And if you don't understand the Leo part, then you understand the loyalty that resides in you. Loyalty is nothing that these jealous bitches have. And even if they could, they would never maintain that, because their very essence and nature of rats and roaches means that they are supposed to turn on each other and their quote unquote friends, because they are always trying to find themselves where the rainbow ends, to the pot of gold. They are scammers, they are schemers, and they never take hold on any real growth. They live groundhog days that repeat themselves endlessly on loops, where they find new other jealous bitches to compete with and new ways to be brutes, because they are depleted completely of femininity. Their constant acquisition means that they can never rest in their femininity. And how dare you have a pretty outfit, and how dare you look lovely, and how dare your hair be gorgeously coiffed, or your nails be done, how dare your lashes be right, how dare you have fun and travel and be. This is why they want your energy. We don't mess with jealous bitches. It's a weak disease. Finally, the fool. Have the courage to embrace change, take risks, and be adventurous. Travel is coming up for you, my friends, if you want to manifest it. These people are stuck to the children that they didn't want, to the spouses that they wish they hadn't chosen, to the lover ships and triangle ships that they immerse themselves in, to the dead end jobs where they can never ascend. And we all have worked a 9 to 5, right? I have, for sure, where they didn't treat me right, where they were wild. But that's the thing about knowing your worth, is one day you find your way out of that labyrinth. I think of Pan's Labyrinth, the movie, because it's a funny thing to show to any jealous bitch, because they will never see the full allegory of it. What you need to understand is everything is topsy-turvy when you're tapped into your spirituality, and as divine feminines, we are naturally that. And you can see through the roaches and the rats, and you can see the twists and turns, and you can see that that part of the labyrinth is a dead end. The reason that they were desperate to be your friend, and if they couldn't be that, then they wanted to destroy you, was because they wanted to live a life just like you. Weak people cause chaos and death. They disseminate things. They cause pestilence. Think of a jealous bitch, for example, that's quite famous, Nicole Kessinger, who wanted something that Shanann Watts had. And so she got into the head of a weak beta man, and she disseminated the family from the inside out. The Battery was a song that she told him about, that he played as he drove his wife's body and his children's bodies to be put inside of things that look like actual batteries, because she was a jealous bitch, and that's the kind of weak disease that causes death. It's scorpionic energy when it has not ascended. They traffic in that. Their lives will be ended. And what I mean by that, lives will be ended. So hear me here. Is it going to be your life, or is it going to be theirs? So if you are dealing with someone and you think, I want to stay and fight, I submit to you that that will not be right. It is not going to work out the way you think. The way that you best the jealous bitch is to divest from it, them, and whomever they think is going to make them feel better. Because the truth of any jealous bitch is this: they are cravenous, they are empty. So even in the acquisition of the thing they think will set them free, the thing they think will give them sanity, the thing they think will make them like you instead of like the roaches and rats that they love to be, is still not going to be enough, because it will be taken swiftly. And in the season of Saturn, that is precisely the place they find themselves in, with towers falling and hitting left and right, and everything they thought they got, earned, stole, crumbling, because the devil always comes to collect. And they all wrote a mighty big check, one their asses cannot cash. So away you dash with the Fool, representative of new journeys, of adventures, of travel, of affluence, of new understanding. The power of the Fool is this: if you see the card and you Google it, take a look tonight, sis, and see. It is a man standing with one foot on a cliff and one off the edge of it. Let me break it down to you so that you understand there is sanity in the position. At his back, you will see a trusty dog, that is the conscience that we all have, and in his hand, it is the accumulation of the things from the world. He has not much, just a rucksack, just a knapsack, just a backpack. Backpack, backpack, swiper, no swiping. Jealous bitches love swiping and they love fighting. You are not in a position to be fighting back when you're standing on the edge of this cliff. But here's the power of the Fool when we have ascended divine feminines and learned from it. It means that we are the proverbial 18-year-old ready to strike out into the world, ready to take it on, ready to make it ours. But what it also means is that we have learned wisely from the people that were dour, sad, and low vibration, and operating out of that toxic energy. It means we know that there are bears in the world, but also rats and roaches. We know now with spidey senses when those haters will be approaching. We understand that inevitably, no matter we carry our light, that there will be a jealous bitch who sees it and knows that it's bright. And yes, they will scatter like roaches do when you are on the scene. But as soon as they think it's dark, then they're plotting on your dream. The funny part and the thing that's promised to you is with the Fool, you go back out into the world because you've actually grown. And now you understand how to manage that energy. And when you see them approaching when they think it's dark, you move away quietly, because we do not befriend people that are vibrating so toxically. We don't mess with jealous bitches. It's a weak disease. And for my divine feminine and masculine collective, that is anything but we. We are not weak. We are savvy. We are not desperate. We are resourceful. They can't relate. There's a whole lot of money in your energetic field. It's an escrow for you. It's in the cosmic realm. Call it in this time. Harness that strawberry immune energy. Write down that you'd like that travel, you'd like a healthy partner, you'd like a healthy body, whatever your manifestation is, because that is owed to you. It is given to you from the universe for pain and suffering because you stood up to a jealous bitch. Ah, so good chatting with you guys tonight. Let me see what the comments are, and I will move on to the next reading. All right, Belinda. Okay. Where the money resides, where the money resides, Belinda says. Love it. I'm glad I came across this. I thought Leo's phrase was I will. Aries' phrase is I am. Belinda is correcting me as she always does, and she may not be wrong. I will definitely check into that. That's so funny because I've always thought it was I am, but Belinda has been O for O. I mean, like there's never a time that she does not give me a cliff note that is not correct or is not right, and she's probably right. Um, so I appreciate you, Belinda. I will and I am. I will definitely check into that. So if Belinda is right either way, y'all, you will. So harness the energy. All right, guys. I love you guys. I'll be back here shortly. I'm gonna take a quick break and we'll get on to baby sharks and chum. The theme is still dealing with jealous bitches, but it's from a different perspective. Love you guys. Come back and join me and we will continue to evolve together.